All right, Wholesale Weekly Update number 18. I just did 5 hours of calling with Joey Dertays Closers Coliseum. Greatly appreciate the opportunity. Glad I got picked for that. We had a list of leads. We were just constantly going through, dialing. We got a handful of people on the phone. Some highlights from that: I had a conversation. It didn't actually get to the live stream on that, but it was the first call that I made. Seller was at 25,000. I said I needed to be at 18,000. We thought maybe we could potentially move it at 20,000. Didn't get the contract on that. Still waiting to talk to her. Hopefully I can get her on the phone either later today. At this point, probably not. If not, then I'll try to get her back on the phone tomorrow. Another conversation, which is the one just sent a contract for. This was actually one of my leads that I ended up started calling. Super good rapport. Loved that he was Italian. Little Italy. Just love the Anthony Alberti name. Enthusiastic. I think that this is a deal. I was kind of getting coached by Joey on the sideline as I was having the conversation. He was doing a couple of comps along the way, and I mean, it seems like it's a deal. So sent the contract for 25,000, started off at 55. I said, what was the Anthony Alberti price? And he actually dropped it down to 25 just from that. So we'll see what happens with that one. I'll definitely try to get Joey to dispo that one. Another deal was a potential Novation play. I forget the address on that one, but that'll be another conversation that needs to be had. I think that I can pitch that one with Joey as well. Overall, very cool little competition. I think this gets the gears going. Not nervous about being in front of the camera, obviously, but it's just like we did 5 hours straight of calling. There was no breaks. There's no anything. We just constantly kept dialing. I don't have any metrics or KPIs from today. I just know that I went down and I called as many people as I possibly could. And most of these were like pretty fresh leads. So it's one thing calling called no answers all the time, but when you have actually fresh leads that you're calling, it just feels a little bit different. And we had 40 to 50 fresh leads that were right in front of us. Highlights from this week: I did actually have a call last night. There was two things that happened. One, I canceled a contract in Georgia. I ended up basically couldn't get him to do the seller finance one. He ended up wanting, I pitched the cash offer that we did have. If it was like at 30,000, he wasn't willing to take that. So you win some, you lose some. It just is a part of the game. So the Decatur, Georgia contract I had, that one is now dead. Board was cleared at that point in time. But then I called back a seller that I had from a property lead to Metro lead, one of the new ones. They've been in my pipeline for like 2 days now, I think, or it was 3 days at this point. Another Georgia deal. Ended up having a great conversation with an elderly couple, understood their situations, had the conversations with them, and agreed upon a price. I think that I'm within the web. I was comping and underwriting that one as I was going through, and I think that we're at a number that slightly makes sense as a rental, so I'm willing to take the shot on it. I sent the contract out. Learning curve was there's two people on the deed. It was a husband and wife. I had to figure out how to get that into my system and Resimply for sending out the contract. Cool thing about TU and just other entities and programs to be a part of. I hopped in, I saw that Tyler Osborne, Taylor Ford, and were sitting in Joey's dispo desk and Discord, and ask him, hey man, how do I set this up in my CRM so I can send out the contract correctly for two people? And between the three of us, we sat down and figured it out together. So literally like 9 o'clock at night, there's people in here doing this business. I can ask for help. It's freaking amazing. It's being a part of a community, being a part of people that are doing this together just makes it a lot simpler. Another thing that I did this week is kind of splitting focus, which I probably shouldn't do. I started looking at some of John Lalande's NEPQ, Jeremy Minor stuff. The way that you ask questions and verbal cues and pauses and all these things, I find that stuff very interesting. So it's something I'm going to kind of look into a little bit more. I'm not going to split my focus. I'm strictly still following King Closers formula, RJ Bates. I want to get good at that and understand it, but I do see the benefit of those sales skills and understanding how to actually flow in the conversation a little bit better. So I'm definitely going to put some energy and focus into that. Not too much, but just to get some feedback on that as I go through and implement some of that stuff in my calls, just to test it out. Facebook ads, that is live for me now. using Taylor Ford's Facebook ads. I've had 3 leads come in. I couldn't even tell you what they were. I probably called them while we were doing this little Closers Coliseum. I think one of them was a lead. It didn't work out. I mean, definitely highly motivated seller, but there's just no equity play. There wasn't anything I could do with it. Other than that, I think that's it for this week. I mean, this was the coolest thing was today with the Closers Coliseum. I want to do as many of these kind of things as possible. I want to get to a point where iSpeed to leads calling me. I want property leads calling me. So I just want to put myself out there as much just like this, so people are willing to get me to come on to their things and potentially just close some deals. I mean, I want to close some deals together. I want to get something across the finish line because it's week 18. I still don't have anything closed and funded. Again, I don't care. I'll go as long as it takes because the ships are burnt and this is what I'm doing. This is going to work. I'm going to figure this out. My skills are way, way, way better than they were when I first started. And I know that if I just keep putting in the reps, keep calling the leads, that this thing is going to hit very, very soon. So that's it for this week. Remember to stay happy, hungry, and humble, and I'll see you on the next one.